If you're anything like me, when I first started, failure was just not an option, okay? And I didn't really know what I was doing. I kind of knew what I was optimizing for, but most of the energy was like running away from something rather than running or walking towards something. I kind of felt paralyzed in terms of like no prospects. I didn't have any money. I was stuck in a 9-to-5 job. For me, ecom was the escape ticket, but I just didn't really know what I was doing. And if you're feeling like you really have to lock in and you really have to make this a success, then this video is going to be for you. My name is Lou Antonio. I've done over 10 mil in ecom sales over the past 10 years. I've been featured on BBC Dragon's Den, Shopify Masters podcast. I've done a lot, okay? I was GB Entrepreneur of the Year finalist in 2022. And I just want to share this video with you because I was also at this stage and feeling the same, probably back in like 2015, 2016 when I first started. And my mindset was, this is going to work. Okay, I'm going to do whatever it takes, whatever I need to do. I'm going to become whoever I need to be in order to make this business a success. And what it started with was knowing what I was optimizing for. And as I said at the beginning, you're either running away from pain or you're running towards pleasure. For me, it was a bit of a mix of both, as I was stuck in a 9-to-5 job. I didn't have any income. I was selling my time for money. And then I had this big pipe dream of being able to live in Bali, have complete time, location, financial freedom, and a business with exit value. And I just didn't really know how to connect the dots, okay? But I went on this journey and I pretty much just locked in, okay? And this is pretty much the advice I want to give you through this video, is that you need to be intentional with your decision making and also your action taking, okay? So think about it. What are you running towards, okay? What is going to make this all worth it for you? Because the struggle is guaranteed, the success isn't, okay? So can you be almost like obsessively focused on what this big dream is, because this is what's going to make it worth it for you. When things get tough, which they will, this is what's going to get you through this period. So just think, what are you optimizing for? And once you have that, once you're crystal clear with that, and I don't just mean like a number in the bank, I mean like really embody it. What does your day look like? What does it feel like? What are you wearing? Who are you around? Like, what's the weather like? Where are you waking up? All of this stuff, get crystal clear with it and make it real, because if you can see it in your head, you can hold it in your hand. That was the piece of advice from Bob Proctor that changed my life. And I didn't really believe it or understand it at the time, but then looking back and connecting the dots, everything seems to make sense because it was done intentionally and by design. And unlike all of my life to that point, things were just happening to me. I was falling into things or falling into jobs or situations I didn't want to be in. Whereas once you start to get intentional with things in life and business, this is when things start happening for you and through you, and you realize that you can actually bend life to your will and you can create your own reality. And this is powerful, okay? But it requires that you take action on it and you get really clear, okay? So intentionality and definiteness of purpose, okay? Now, the dark force, if you like, that generally holds us back, and it was the same for me, really was procrastination. And knowing that I needed to do something, I wouldn't necessarily say I knew how to do it, but the procrastination and this kind of dark force holding my heels, not allowing me to do what needed to be done, sometimes felt a bit crippling, okay? And again, just being aware that sometimes your body and your mind, particularly if it's your old self or your current self that isn't kind of not necessarily worthy, or you don't have the character traits of someone who is successful yet, being aware that these programmatic habits and routines that keep you small, that have got you to where you are. Because remember, everyone is self-made, but only the rich will admit it. Okay, and this statement triggers a lot of people because they think that, oh no, like things have happened to me, or it's not my fault, or I blame my parents, or I blame my school teacher, or I got bullied at school. Yes, that's important, but at the same time, you need to live life intentionally. You need to grab life by the horns, okay, because you are the CEO of your own life, okay? And now if you're going to move into the CEO of your own company as an entrepreneur, it's going to require a new you. It's going to force you through an evolution. And this is just something to be really hyper aware of, because now everyone's looking for you to guidance. You don't have a boss, which means you don't really have anyone holding you accountable for your decision-making progress, or what you do, or when you work, or when you sleep, or when you take time off. It's up to you really to be in the driving seat. And the cost of this, or the consequence most times, is that you now don't have a safety net. You've lost that kind of drug of the regular paycheck, and now it's up to you to literally grind and do whatever needs to do and become whoever you need to in order to get the results that will literally lead you to that desired lifestyle, okay? So yeah, lock in. If you're procrastinating or you're just kind of kicking the can down the road, this is not in alignment with your goals. And just break everything down from the macro to the micro, and just think in that space between the thought and the action, there's always the decision, and I call it the gap. And it's binary. You can make it binary. You can make it black and white. Is if I do this or don't do this, whatever the course of action is, Is this going to move me further towards my goal or further away from my goal? And this is so important, because once you make things binary, it's like, I don't know, even if it doesn't have to be in business, it can be in relation to health and diet and fitness. If you want to have the croissant, okay, but you're dieting or trying to lose weight, is this going to make you lose weight, or is this going to make you gain weight? Okay, like, it always comes back down to a decision. And if you make it binary, it really helps, because then you know objectively there's no talking yourself in or out of something, but being aware that you are the easiest person to fool, and actually you have the power of reasoning to talk yourself in or out of something, like going to the gym, or I'm tired, I've had a busy day, I'm too stressed, I'll do it tomorrow. Compound that over a long enough period of time, you will stay where you are and you will get worse. So again, procrastination, be aware of it and catch yourself in the act. Okay. The next thing, if you really, really are motivated to make this work, is 3 things. And this is the foundational pillars of success in anything. And it doesn't have to be business. So fundamental, you want to change your life, change these 3 things: diet, sleep, nutrition. Okay. The foundational pillars, if you like, of being a good operator, being healthy, wealthy, wise, a lot of the time always comes back down to locking in on your diet, getting and going to the gym, training, particularly so for the guys, and also getting your sleep on point. If you're able to dial these 3 things in, these are your force multipliers, because yes, not only are you going to be more healthy, but you're going to have more energy, right? You're going to have more space of mind to make correct and sound decisions. You're gonna just everything, okay? It's just a foundational thing for everything. Your mood's gonna be better, your energy's gonna be better, your decision making's gonna be better, like your self-esteem is gonna be better. And again, all of this stuff compounds over time. And this is why these 3 things are not something you just do for a short period of time. And not something you just kind of get up and do for a week or a month. These have to be baked into your lifestyle. This is who you are now, okay? You're a modern day athlete, like you're healthy, wealthy, wise. Like, you don't just regress to the mean. Like, it's not good. It's not going to help you in your, it's not going to help you in business. It's not going to help you in your life. And it's just going to keep you anchored in the present. Now, the other side of it is just being aware. Sorry. The other part of it, the next thing is just being aware and cognizant of who are you hanging around with, right? Basically, you should know this, but you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So, and are these people dragging you up? Are they pulling you down? Are they encouraging you to lock in and do your work and progress? Or are they encouraging you to go out and party at the weekend and take drugs, or just kind of lie around playing the PlayStation or Netflix or smoking weed? Because these things, again, are compounding assets or liabilities. And it's just good to be super aware of them, because if you want to be successful in life and you want to look in and you want to make this business a success, you have to say no to those things, okay? They are not conducive. You cannot be successful in business and be going out all the time on weekends and doing drugs and smoking weeds. You can't, all right? There's balance between maybe rest and play, but the things that you do when you're playing have to be conducive and literally in line, in alignment, perfect alignment with what you're optimizing for and where you're going, okay? Otherwise, the journey is already difficult enough, okay? If you make it harder by making poor decisions, the 2nd and 3rd order consequences of these are it is going to impact your decision making, your energy levels. You're going to be tired, you're going to be sluggish, you're going to be like making poor decisions. So it's just not like, if you're in a rush to get somewhere, if you're taking detours, it extends that time limit. It makes it even more difficult. So again, just be aware of who you're hanging around with, whose energy you're taking on as well. And sometimes those who are not in alignment with your goals, they will hold you back, whether it's directly or indirectly, in the things they encourage you to do or not to do, the way they speak. Are they building you up? Are they pulling you down? Are they encouraging you to lock in? Or are they trying to motivate you to do things that are in kind of alignment with their own goals? Okay, so just be aware of that. Next thing is just like locking in, okay, and like being sure that you're not scared of failure. Fail fast. That's my advice. Don't be scared of failure, because failure is a necessary part of the journey. We're taught all through life in school that failure sometimes is final, or it's not good, or it's gonna hold you back, but it's not. All right. If you learn the lessons and you learn quickly, and you focus on have a kind of you're sprinting basically to results. Obviously, you still want to make sure your decision making is sound, but failure sometimes gives us the best lessons. But it's all about the lens that you view the world through. Like most times, if you can reframe failure as lessons, as trite as it sounds, like this is so important, because if you just look back on something you made a bad decision on, Ray Dalio has a good quote, which is pain plus reflection equals progress, and that is so true. Because actually, if you look back, it might seem that you made a pivotal mistake with consequences, but actually if you learned from it, now you know what not to do. And once you know what not to do, by default, you now know what to do. So actually you've made progress. So just reframing that, because there's going to be countless failures in business. The thing is, you just do not quit, right? There's never something going to be that catastrophic, hopefully, that you can't come back from it, right? You can take the lessons, you can learn from it. Just make sure that you reframe things and you change that lens you view the world through, so that actually this is actually me making progress. This is just the process, and it's not linear. It's never linear. Okay, so yeah, fail fast. The other thing is, it's kind of linked to procrastination, but just making sure that you focus on one thing at a time, because in business you wear a lot of hats. There's a lot of different things to do. Everyone's vying for you for attention or to solve problems, and it's up to you to kind of filter through this noise and understand what is the one thing that I need to do today that's going to move the needle. And you're looking for asymmetry, and by asymmetry you're looking for the one thing you can do that gets you 10 levels of output. So that's not like doing customer service or putting out small fires. It's focusing on what are the actual needle moving activities that I need to do day in, day out on my business that actually make or help me make big strides forward. Okay, so one thing, focus on the one thing. Don't get distracted. Don't get shiny object syndrome and trying too many different things. If something works, just double down on it, okay? And try not to spread your attention too far, because where attention goes, energy flows and results show. And again, these are all compounding assets over time, all liabilities, depending on how sound your decision making is. And if you want to be able to make better decisions, my advice to you is basically surround yourself with a tribe of mentors. So you have podcasts, you have books, audio books, you can actually pay and work with mentors directly. Like, there's so much, there's YouTube, there's so much of this stuff that's actually out there for free that you can take advantage of. And if you're not, you're making it harder than necessary. Like, you need to be back in the learner mindset. Like, for me, every day is a school day. It needs to be the same for you. For most, their education stops the second they leave college or university, and that's it. Then it's just a school of hard knocks. You cannot do that as an entrepreneur. You need to be forward thinking, you need to be learning, you need to be hungry for knowledge, and you need to be putting that knowledge into application as quickly as possible. So don't sleep on this, okay? Every day, learning something new. Other thing is, again, more around the mindset, but it's just believing in yourself. And one trait of millionaires is that they're almost to the point of delusion in how much they believe in themselves. And you need this conviction, because if you don't believe in yourself, how can you expect others to believe in you? Okay, and that's not just like from an investment perspective, but that's also from the product that you're selling. You need to have that conviction that you're leaving a positive imprint on the world. So sometimes I know it can be difficult, particularly so if you don't have a particularly good track record or you're starting from zero, but you have to have that conviction, and what you're doing has the power to change your life and also those around you. Because remember, we're paid in direct proportion to the level of the problem that we solve, so we need to be solving proper, real problems, ideally high-level problems for customers, and that basically requires that you believe in yourself, in your brand, and your product, and your mission. So just getting crystal clear on that, and trying to maintain that and stretch that over time, so it's not just short bursts of enthusiasm. Other thing is, you can build in Parkinson's law. So again, if you're on a sprint, if you're really kind of focused on locking in this year, Parkinson's law basically that dictates that a task will expand or contract in direct proportion to the time allocated for its completion. And what that means in layman's terms is, if you're able to condense your timeline, so instead of you giving yourself 6 months to do something, you give yourself 6 hours, you will get it done. Or it's like if you think back to school or college and having an exam to hand in and they say it's due in a month, it will take you a month to do. If they say it's due in 2 days, it will take you 2 days to do. And you can apply that same principle to business in shortening time horizons and basically condensing a lot into a shorter period of time. And the benefit of that is you get so much more done in a smaller amount of time, which means there's faster lessons, there's faster learnings, there's faster growth. So again, just a key principle to bear in mind, that if you really want to lock in and you want to make this a success, condense your timelines and hold yourself accountable. Or if you can't do that for yourself, get someone, friends, mentors, to hold you accountable to deliverables, okay? Because remember, in life and business, you don't have a boss necessarily, you don't have someone telling you what to do, when to do it, how to do it. That's on you. So lock in, condense your time horizons, and make sure you do whatever you need to do to get the work done, okay? And the last thing, the most important thing over anything else, is take action. Daily, violent action towards your goals. That's your sole priority every single day when you get up, is taking action. Obviously do so mindfully, do it deliberately, but just make sure you're not shuffling papers to feel busy, or you're not in the work for work's sake trap, and just lock in and do whatever you need to do. Because remember, no one is coming to save you. No one's going to do the work for you. It has to be you. So I hope this video was useful. If you have any comments, stick them in the section, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.